Hello everyone, my name is Luna. This will be the first video in my channel for what I hope will be something I will do actively in the near future. Firstly, I want to say that I am not a native speaker of English. English is my second language, and I think grammatically and in terms of vocabulary I can do English pretty well, but talking in English in general has been some hurdle because I do not really use English in my daily life, even though I work at a hospital. Yeah, it's a local hospital, but that's why I don't really use English much. Okay, sorry, I went on a tangent there. Basically, this is the introductory video for this channel, and what I want this channel to be is just for a place for me to dump my ideas, dump my thoughts, like mostly about what I play, games, animes, and what happened in my life. I think it's gonna be mostly about animes because most of the time, most of the time I spend watching animes. That is my primary hobby. So I want to start a YouTube account because I want to properly place my thoughts, my ideas on various stuff. Because if you have seen my DeviantArt account, you can see that I occasionally write about animes and stuff, reviews, my short thoughts, and some complaints. But I'm a bad writer. I think I'm a terrible writer because I usually cannot compose my idea and put it in words properly. Like what is in my head, I cannot project it, cannot write it into paragraph. I cannot write it into an essay. So I was hoping that instead of writing it, I will instead just record what I thought verbally. Even though my English, even though I'm not a really good English speaker, but I mean, like it is kind of frustrating that I have all these thoughts in my head, but I have no outlet. That's the important thing. You have to have an outlet for things, otherwise you will burn out. See, I'm pretty bad at expressing myself. I hope I can in the future I can gather my thoughts more properly and do a proper video about these things. So yeah, basically I want to basically I want to record stuff for my personal interest. I don't really aim to gather subscribers or watchers. I don't really intend to appeal to people. Basically, I want this channel to be my personal records. I think it's better to have things recorded in stone instead of just being stuck in my head. Since as previously stated, I cannot write things for shit. So this is it. So for the first video of this channel, I think I'm gonna give short thoughts on current season's anime, that is Summer 2017. I think this season has some pretty good anime, a bunch of unique ones, and there's quite a lot of anime that I've been following, and at the same time, there's also a lot of anime that I have even yet to start watching even one episode because I've been busy, and following these other animes is pretty time consuming. So I'm looking at this list from myanimelist.net. The first one is Kakegurui. I have only watched one episode of this. I think I'm gonna watch more before I give proper thoughts, before I gonna give my proper opinions on this. The second one is Surezure Children. This one is really good. It's a short 10 minutes per episode anime. It's a romantic comedy based on a bunch of short for a young Koma series. Yonkoma as in four panels comics. The strong point about this anime is that it has lots of characters, lots of couplings, and each couples has a different type of humors and relationship. They are all couples, but the characters and the humors are very quite varied, and how the humor is presented is quite funny. The It can get heartwarming, it can get very silly, it can get quite absurd. So it's in terms of humor, it's quite varied. It has a good delivery and it's a great art. I've read the manga, and I think it's very faithful to the manga, and it's I think 10 minutes per episode is very good for this anime because of the nature of the original material. I can I said that I'm just gonna give short thoughts, but honestly, I really want to talk much more about each episode and how the anime is, how each story is presented. But let's make this short first because this is my first attempt at making videos. So recording voice even. So okay, let's go next to the next anime. And next anime is Gamers. I've only watched 3 episodes of it, and I kinda lost interest in it. Partly because the game aspect of it is very ham-fisted. The dialogues are bad. The characters are mostly idiots. The jokes are pretty meh. I think in 3 episodes that I watched, there's only one scene that I quite like. That is in episode 2, almost at the end. There's one dude getting mad at the protagonist. I think that's the only scene that I like. Otherwise, for being an anime supposedly about gamers, it didn't really connect to me. I didn't like the comedy. I didn't like the characters. I can criticize more about this anime because I want it to be good. And based from the 3 episodes I watched and using the 3 episodes rule, basically before you drop an anime, you have to watch 3 episodes. In 3 episodes, I didn't. It failed to make me want to watch more of these characters because there's so many things that I can criticize on each scenes and each how the characters and the dialogues are written, especially the dialogues. I hated the dialogues. Like every bit of dialogues that has reference to games, it feels very unnatural. Um, I have to dig some screenshots and some examples, but I think this might be. Maybe I will make a video about this in the future. Maybe if I have time, but you have anyone who is watching this have to settle with this. So basically, I don't like gamers. Next is Fate Apocrypha. I'm not really a big fan of Fate series, but I've watched the original Fate by Studio Dean, way back in 2007, 2006. I forgot when. And then I've watched Fate Zero, basically the best one, and Unlimited Blade Works, the controversial one. And I really love Fate Zero. I think Fate Zero is really good and it's an example how modern anime should use as standard. But for Fate Apocrypha, I've watched for like 6 episodes or maybe 5 episodes maybe. Uh, how should I say this? I think if I want to compare it to Fate Zero, it cannot compare to Fate Zero. But as a standalone, if I like ignore that Fate Zero exists and just watch this Apocrypha as just Apocrypha, it's kinda, I don't know. I'm not that interested. I have no, like when new episode came out, I am not in a rush to watch it. I'm just not. It just failed to make me in to pump me up. It failed to make me excited for new things. I think it's like it's been like 4 weeks since I watched last episode. Since I watched it, because episode 6 I think it's around episode 10 right now as of time of this recording. But yeah, I think especially the first few episodes are pretty bad. I think the exposition is really bad, really unnatural. There's too many stuff to cram in, and the characters are comparing to Phase Zero and Unlimited Blade Work. The characters like how do you say it? The characters like uh presence. No, no, not presence. Let's say charisma. Yeah, they lack charisma. They lack qualities that to sucks me in into the anime. Maybe it has to do with the dialogues. The dialogues I think is not immersive. It's not. It does not attract me. Unlike Fate Zero, like Fate Zero has tons of dialogues, tons of expositions, but it manages to integrate the dialogues into the characters and into the scenes very well. That it builds the character. But the first few episodes of Apocrypha makes me do not really give a damn about any of the characters. So I don't really like the uh, moderate. I don't really like the moderate master. None of the bad guys family I particularly like. Yeah, even Astolfo, I really hate Astolfo. The the paladin, what do you call it? The trap paladin. Yeah, I don't like him. It's him. Astolfo is a him. Everybody knows that. Yeah, I don't really like him so far. 6 episodes, man. Yeah, basically, I don't really like Fate of Apocrypha so far. Maybe I'll watch it later, but I'm not in a rush to watch it. And next, Hajime no Gal. I dropped it in 1 episode. I'm pretty sure most people who have watched at least 1 episode can relate, can understand why I drop it in 1 episode. Koito Uso. The next anime, Koito Uso. I drop it after 3 episodes. This is pretty. I don't really like it. There's plenty of argument I can, plenty of criticism I can do, but let's just say that the basic story itself is not interested to me. And next, Aho Girl. Aho Garu. Aho Girl. Dumb girl, idiot girl. Idiot girl. It's a very slapstick comedy that relies on characters being dumb. Lots of physical gag, as in there's lots of punchline that involve one characters hitting another because of their dumbness. There's one thing to say that every characters in this anime are dumb, and most of the humors involve them being dumb, being an idiot. But the good thing about this anime is that each episode is only about 10 minutes long. So like if you treat it like watching some random YouTube video about some very what dumb, very dumb jokes. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think I think it's for it's pretty. It's not pretty humorous. Like I give it a chuckle or two. It's not particularly good. It's not brilliantly executed. But as a cheap laugh, I think it works. But don't expect any character developments or anything. It's just bunch of dumb jokes and physical gags. Next is Made in Abyss. Oh, I so far I really love this anime. It's a very adventurous anime. It's very mysterious. It's a very adventurous anime. That's what I think that anime as of recent years, there's a very quite lacking in terms of the adventure genre. I think as in adventure that really involve fresh idea. I mean like think of it like a traditional JRPG where you adventure from one town to another, solving problems and get involved in various conflicts, and then in the end beat the demon lord. As in these games, like you will discover new things, discover dungeons, discover new geography, discover new towns with unique cultures. But I think anime as of recent years don't really have this adventurous feeling. There's no romance. So what made in Abyss, even though it's not really a typical adventure, but the sense of wonder, the sense of adventure, the sense of discovery is there, and I really love it. It's very the art style is very unique. Even I think the art style is love it or hate it. I think I love it. As in I like it. I don't mind it. It's actually a dark and gritty story, but it doesn't push the edginess and the grittiness. It 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 slowly engulf you in the in this very dark feeling. How should I say this? It's has this horror vibe in it, but it does not force it. There's no if we use a horror movie analogy here, there's no jump scare. It slowly sucks you in. So I really like it. The two main characters are also pretty good. I think they are very synergistic to each other. They have a good chemistry with each other, and I'm just beating this point over and over again. But I really love a sense of adventure in an anime. Sorry for that noise. And the next anime in this list is Isekai wa Smartphone Totomone. This is trash, don't watch it. I'm not gonna explain it further. This is just trash. Next is Ballroom e Yokoso. It's a ballroom dancing anime. Yeah, dancing. You know, the waltz and stuff. It's a pretty unique anime. And I oddly, even though I don't think this type of anime is my type, but so far I'm watching it every week on the same day, and I think it's pretty good because the dancing scenes are pretty intense, and even though the art is pretty, how should I say this, the anatomy is very exaggerated. Yeah, I think to the point that I wish I maybe I should put some screenshot of this, but or maybe you can you guys can just Google it. But the anatomy of the characters are very exaggerated during the dance scenes. But the dancing scenes are very intense, and even though like today's episode, there's 20 minutes. The whole episodes are dedicated to just supposedly 2 minutes routines. Again, sorry for that noise. The whole episode is dedicated to a 2 minutes routine, but I think but I like it. I like the dancing, but I think the weaker part of this is the characters. Like I think I can understand that if some people like the main character, but personally, I like the main character half the time because half the time he's a pretty badass character. He has natural talent and he is very stubborn and wants to improve himself, but half the time he's also very whiny and very bipolar. Even he's a very bipolar character. He can one time he's very charged up and wants to and very confident, and another time he broke down and cries and whines and became very meek. And yeah, meek, I think that's a good description. uh I think anybody who I don't watch Yuri on Ice. Maybe some people say there's some similarities with it, but I think if you like some unorthodox anime, you should try a few episodes at least. And if you like the dancing, I think you should watch it. But I can understand if just people just hate hate the visual and the art style, and I do not want to watch it. But I personally like it.